Hello, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle. Hopefully, you can hear me. Today, I'm going to talk about some um, investment information. So, if you're only interested in spending the money that you've already made, then you need to pass on. This is a little bit more of a conversation about philosophy of how you actually become a millionaire or tens of millions. I have a goal a little bit higher, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so she calls it, what does she call it? Raise lifestyle creep. I'm like, I never heard that. She goes, well, it's not technical, it's just what people say. I'm like, okay. So, what it is let's say you're working your job and you're one of the lucky ones that haven't lost their job. So now you're actually doing a great job and you get a raise. Well, if you take that raise and go spend it on a one-shot deal, like for example, if you get a raise and you say you're going to go on vacation because you deserve it. You've been working so hard, or you take and finally buy that big car you wanted, depreciating asset. So if you buy it on something that's going to be depreciating or something that you use and then it's over and done with, or an experience like you go to out to dinner, or you buy things that aren't going to go up in value, that is called lifestyle creep. And what I would like you to try and practice is when you have extra money, whether that be from a raise or whether it is from not spending what you were going to spend. Maybe you cut back. Maybe you and your wife were going to have dinner out on your anniversary and you say, you know what, we don't really, this year, things are getting more difficult. Let's not go out. Let's just take and make dinner at home. So you save an extra 100 or 200. If you were going to have champagne, I don't know, maybe $300. I don't know. I don't drink, but I understand that drinks and alcohol is very expensive now. So let's just say you save that money. So that $300 that you save, or the $200, you may say, oh, it's only $100 or $50. It doesn't really matter. So let's just spend it. Well, those little $50 or the $100 or the buying macaroni and cheese packet one time instead of buying your steak or your chicken. Instead of using that money that you save for something else, put it aside, and when there's enough, buy an appreciating asset. Something that in the future might at some point be worth more and more and more money, so that it keeps you up with inflation or beating inflation. And if you're really good at this game, when you get going, you end up like me. You're independently wealthy, so I don't have to work for anybody else, and I can stay home and manage my things without having to go to work. So y'all can do that, and I find a lot of young people now understand that when their parents teach them that concept, they get better and better at a earlier and earlier age. But if you haven't had an adult, a parent that has taught you about compounding interest, saving money, investing in appreciating assets. When I was when my kids were going to high school, I'm like, one of the biggest mistakes high school girls make is wanting to buy fancy dresses, fancy clothes, instead of investing in themselves, investing in their knowledge so that they have a long-term growth and appreciation. Instead of, okay, you wear your dress 3 times and then you give it to your friend, or you go If you're lucky, you put it on Poshmark, but most of them don't take the time to do that. So what I'd like you to start to do is understand where you're spending your money. Is it in things that are going up in value or things that just depreciate and don't go anywhere? So, for example, food, you need good, healthy food for your body, but you don't need caviar 3 nights a week. You don't need lobster. You don't need those things. There's plenty of other things that are very good and healthy and wholesome, hopefully not purchased at a grocery store, but at a farm, healthy things. And by the way, I'm just going to say it now that Bill Gates has publicly come out and said that they're putting mRNA in, spraying it on lettuce that comes to your store, your grocery store, and tomatoes. So you better be starting to learn to grow food. That's the other thing. Besides money, the state of affairs currently is challenging. And typically, when a country comes to the end of their monetary cycle, which is what we're coming to, the money gets printed more freely, and that increases your inflation. And what that does is fixed assets. Real estate usually is an asset. Gold, silver, anything that's an asset. They're now saying crypto's an asset. I do have an issue, as you know, with crypto. I'm not investing much in it, but I'm investing enough that if I'm wrong, it'll keep me even or better than inflation. So anyway, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I'd like you to try, if you have younger children, I want you to have the conversation with them to teach them what's the difference between an appreciating asset that goes up in value and a depreciating asset that goes down in value, like clothing, vacations. I'm not saying never take a vacation, but you don't need to go to the French Riviera when you can drive to visit grandma and have a perfectly wonderful time with grandma where you don't have to pay for your hotel room. And she might cook a little. My mom was good at cooking. I feel bad. I should have spent more time learning from my mom. So I want you to just test them. Say, okay, good. I'm going to give you a couple questions now to see how well you understand. Okay, you're sitting in high school and you just got your driver's license and you decide you're thinking about A, buying a brand new car so that you can drive around. B, oh, some fancy jewelry to be able to buy. Or C, starting an IRA for yourself. So you want to see which one they pick. And maybe they even say, what is an IRA? So these are things you want to ask. Well, we know the car. First of all, a young person should never have a brand new car. And if you were a great parent and at birth bought them a whole life insurance policy at birth and each year invested into it, you would have enough money by the time they're 18 to borrow from that life insurance policy at 3 to 4%. They should never take a loan out, but they would have a lot of money, a lot of money. And the same respects, they would also have enough money to pay for their college. And it would be lent to them at 3 to 4%, not what some of these crazy school loans are at currently. the other thing I want to say about the whole life loan, whole life insurance loan, is you would have to pay back the money you would buy like your daughter would have to pay back for buying a car from the Honda dealership, let's just say. But in paying back her life insurance policy, she's paying 3 to 4%, and in paying back the automobile loan, it's going to be 7, 10, 12. Some of them are even more. It's absolutely insane. And that interest there goes to the bank or the automobile company, the interest, which is thousands and thousands of dollars, versus the whole life policy. It's 3 to 4%, but where does that 3 to 4% go? It goes back to you in the life insurance policy. Ready for your next time to borrow again. So give all the interest away to some bank, or keep the interest for yourself. Girls, which do you think would be better? All right. I love you all. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I still want to think of some things from my seminar that I did for the last couple of days. A lot of it is for people who are either independently wealthy or they have a business and things like that. So I don't know who's out there, because not all of you write comments below, so I don't know exactly who you are. If you do, I can tailor my conversations with you a little bit better. Love you. Have a fabulous, fabulous night. This is the Abundance Oracle. Big hugs, and come up with a scheme for yourself how you can become independently wealthy. At least start thinking about it. Love you. Bye.